Hi, this is Donna from Clever Crafting, and wow, here we are halfway through day 6 of 12 cards in 12 days. And of course, we're using the same paper pack for all of them and the same stamp and die set, metric rectangles and some circle dies. So minimal supplies. So this piece I've cut using the metric rectangles, and I used the second largest one because I'm going to make this a mat on my card today. So what we're really talking about today is layering. So I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about it as we go through. The other thing that I wanted to show you is that you can use things that are in a paper pack and make embellishments out of. So this is a little lantern that's on one of the pages. We get 2 pages of that, and that was an offcut from something that I used earlier in one of the earlier cards. And so I cut the lantern and a couple of gifts out of it, and then I wanted to use a part of that paper as well, so I cut that off the other piece that's in the pack. The advantage of having 2 pieces of each paper in the pack. Phew, that was a lot of pieces of paper in a pack, wasn't it? Anyway, I'm just going to pop some Smart Art glue on the back of that. I did actually cover all of that. That's just really neat editing, and it looks like I did it in one little piece, but I did cover the whole back of it. And now I'm going to pop it on my mat layer. So one of the things that's really good when you're doing layering on a card as part of the features of the card is that you've got a bit of symmetry through it, but symmetry that wouldn't be really noticeable, but makes the card look tidy and cohesive. So you can see that I've got I guess that's about maybe 4 or 5 mil around the 3 sides of that where I put that strip on the mat piece. And you can see that the space around this one that I'm doing, so I'm matting another piece of the pattern paper from the pack onto that red cardstock, and it's also going to have the same border but on all 4 sides, not just the 3 sides, as the first mat that I put down on the first piece that I put down on the mat piece of card. Well, this is really tongue-tying tonight, hey? Anyway, the next thing that I'm doing is popping this circle. So this is out of the various greetings die set that matches the Christmas greetings that we're using. And you can see that that once again will give me the same distance between the edge of the top circle to the edge of the red circle. So we've got that symmetry all the way through. So we want to add a little bit more symmetry. So I have now, I'm just moving this, so the top one and the middle one are all positioned in similar spots. So I guess what I mean is that I've got the red rectangle just over halfway, positioned just over halfway on the rectangle that's at the bottom, which is the pattern paper only. And then I'm going to position my round one just over halfway of that red rectangle one. I really hope that makes some sense to you. Anyway, by doing it that way, once again, it adds a little bit of symmetry. And you'll also notice that the edge that I've got on my patterned paper between the pattern paper at the bottom and the red square is also at the top and the bottom about the same distance as I've got with all the other edges. So this adds a cohesiveness and symmetry for the card that probably doesn't go totally noticed, but does make it look nice and tidy. For the circle, I am popping that whole thing on some double-sided tape. Once again, I'm using just the double-sided tape that I get from Bunnings, which is 1 mil thick. And I have now got the lantern. Now I put 2 layers of double-sided tape on this of foam, so that's another 2 mil up. But it's still a fairly flat card, which is really good, and that's going in the center of my circle. And then what does happen? So, oh, that's right. I just saw this piece of string on my desk. I used it in one of the other cards that I did, and I just sort of thought, oh, I wonder how that will look around the bottom of this mat. Certainly was not in my original plan. Just was the perfect length. So, you know, you kind of think, well, that's a sign, don't you? So I loved the way it looked. So all I'm doing is tying that up in a knot. It was the right color. Sometimes things just fall into place, hey? So as I said, it was unexpected, but a really nice added feature, and it adds a little bit of a different texture to the front of my card. So I was happy about that. Now you can see at the side there I've got a Merry Christmas that I have stamped and cut out of white cardstock, and I was going to use that, but honestly I just didn't like it when I put it on there. I thought, no, it's too big. So I used the stamp set and cut another little one that says Season's Greetings, and I'm just going to cut the little fishtail flag pieces on both ends. So this is the first one. I just cut down the center a little bit, and then from each corner down to that center spot to give me that little fishtail. I'll do the same on the other end. After I did that, I put some double-sided foam tape on the back of it. You can see me, that's just the end of me putting that double-sided foam tape, just the 1 mil thickness. I didn't need it very thick. I just wanted it popped up a little bit off my card. So I will just remove that release paper, and I'm going to position that directly underneath my circle. And it honestly, it's much, much better than the big one that I was originally going to put on. I'll use that big one on another project. So I chose to put double-sided tape on the back of my matte card because of the string that's there. I just felt that it would give it a more solid stick straight away. And when I do this, I take the release paper off one corner. So off the top piece and then the side piece in one corner, then the diagonally opposite corner I do exactly the same thing. Take it off the side piece and then off the bottom piece there. Now by doing that, I've got 2 corners exposed with sticky and 2 corners that are not, so I can use those other 2 corners to move it around and position it so it's perfectly straight. Once I'm happy with that, I push down the 2 corners that have the sticky, released, and then I pull the rest of the release paper out. Nice and easy. And this way it's straight every time. I love it. It works like a charm. So there we have it. There's the finished card. Really nice and easy again tonight. So once again, all of these cards would be great for production line card making if you're making bulk cards at Christmas time. I hope you enjoyed it tonight. I really hope you learned something. I'd love it if you gave this a bit of a go. I will put a link below to our Facebook group and to all of the other bits and pieces that I've used, that I've been using in this series, if you're interested in any of that. I'll be back tomorrow with day 7 of 12 cards in 12 days. Until then, stay safe and happy crafting.